I have to start this by cleaning some things up. In previous videos, I said some things that were not right. And I just want to make sure we stay on track, and I want to confess my sins. First of all, Laban had two daughters, not three. I misstated that Bilhah, Bilhah, was one of his daughters, and that was wrong. The way I read it in Genesis 29 was just flat incorrect. I read it as Bilhah was a daughter given to Rachel, but it was, the way I read it. In fact, let me read it. Genesis 29, 28. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week and gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban in verse 29, and Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaiden, to be her maid. And I called Bilhah, Bilhaa, his daughter. It's not his daughter. It's his handmaiden that he gave to Rachel. That's what it says. But I read it incorrectly. My bad. Had to clean that up. But with that said, I think it's important that we understand that you have to make a choice. That's the reason why I thought it was very important that we spend some time on Esau's life, because Esau's sons play a vital role in the stories going ahead. And you can't separate the two. You can't separate Esau from Jacob, Israel. I think that's the reason why one statement, one principle is, I'd rather you be hot or cold, Esau or Israel. I think it's okay that you make one choice or the other. I'm not that guy that says, hey, this is the way. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except by me. That's my choice. My choice is to take up this belief system of the kingdom of God. Everyone doesn't have to. It is your choice. It is not my job to tell you what to do. I can only give you my testimony. I believe the best anyone can do is give you their testimony. The absolute best. I can't tell you what to do with your life. I can only demonstrate the values that I believe in. The values of Esau are not the values of Israel. They're different. They're very different. But it's still your choice. If you have any interest in walking in the kingdom of God or walking out the principles of the kingdom of God, you have to choose to do so. Anyone that tells you that believing in God is a crutch, easy, it's like fire insurance to get you out of hell, if there is a hell, because you're not sure, is blowing smoke. Because peace lies in the kingdom of God. It is not the easiest road. If it was so easy, then some people wouldn't choose to ride the fence. They would just make the choice. Because it's not that easy. I said in one of the previous videos that this is hard. It's almost easier just to live by the principles of the world because it's popular. The world system is very popular. It always has been. It is tough to make a choice to live according to the kingdom of God, because you may not always be popular. In Genesis chapter 37, after spending some time on Esau and that sort of thing, I want to move right into Genesis 37 and talk about Jacob's favorite son, which is Joseph. And Joseph, being the favorite son, had favor with Israel. This didn't go over well with the brothers. And keep in mind, when I'm sharing these things with you, is to get you to understand how this fits in your life. I'm not just reading you a bunch of Bible stories so that you can memorize the Bible. This is my commentary for personal use. Not just my personal use, for your personal use. Although this is my Bible study to show yourself approved. But I want you to see some of the principles, some of the effects of making these choices that I'm talking to you about. Because, again, and please catch what I'm saying, they are your choices to make. It's not about the health, the hell and brimstone, fire and brimstone message, which is get saved or you're going to die in hell. Just make a choice. Choose. Peace lies in only one choice. And this may be shocking to you, but the peace lies in your choice of who you are. And then once you make that choice, you take the fiery arrows from your perceived enemies and darts, and you live with it. I personally choose the kingdom of God, making improvements and growing within the kingdom. You may make the choice of following Esau. But don't be lukewarm. Now, if you don't understand what I mean, it means the roots of the kingdom of God is in the lineage right here of Jacob, with the creation of Israel that's proclaimed over his life by God. This is the lineage by which the kingdom is taught. Some people may dispute that. Believers in all the different religions. But believe it or not, I'm not sharing with you a religion. I'm sharing with you the principles of God and how to move forth the kingdom of God and usher in the kingdom of heaven. These are intentional steps to be taken to do so, to glorify God. So let me reiterate, Jesus is Lord, boss, because of his demonstration and his flawless example of living out the principles of following the Spirit of God and being obedient to the Father. I only do what I see the Father doing. These are principles of God. I honestly don't know how anyone can argue with that. No one else made that claim. nor lived it out in such a manner. The life lived out was exactly what we're talking about here in the book of Genesis. You want to be successful? This is how you become successful. Not just in money, but in being obedient to who God has called you to be. Such is the life, going back to this example of the kingdom of Joseph. A lot has been said about Joseph should have kept his mouth shut. I don't think so. I think Joseph did exactly what he was supposed to do. Why should Joseph have kept his mouth shut? Because his brothers hated him. Regardless of whether you keep your mouth shut or not, people are going to hate on you or hate you. It should not, cannot stop you from following the principles and experiencing life that is meant for you to experience. We want to feel sorry for people who go through things and they're just going through things. It is not breaking them, it is making them. It is causing them to have favor with the right people. It is putting them in a position with the right attitudes. Because they recognize that their calling is their calling from God, not their calling from any man placing them into a position. Abraham had such a realization. When he was challenged, so will you. So will you, if you choose to follow the methodology of the kingdom of God and not try to overrule or get around. No, just trust God. Trust God for the path that He's giving you. It may look like you're going one way or the other and it doesn't feel good. It's okay. Because as long as you're staying true to who you are, people are going to hate on you. Genesis chapter 37. And Jacob dwelt, in verse 1, Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. And we talked extensively about why Canaan. Sons of Noah. Ham. Canaan is the son of Ham. Promise made because of the life of Ham and what he did. So, I don't want to go back through that, but these are in verse 2. These the generations of Jacob. Joseph at this point was 17 years old. He was feeding the flock with his brethren and the lad with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah. These were the wives of Jacob. These were the concubines. He was hanging out with their sons. And these are members of the 12 tribes that you so famously know, Dan and Naphtali. 2 of those sons. And Joseph brought, in verse 2, Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he the son of his old age. Also son of Rebekah, the wife that he loved so much, more than Leah. So this was a generational thing as well, as we call it, generational thing. More than his children, because, verse 3, because he the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of colors. Verse 4, and when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. Have you ever been isolated by your family members, those you're closest to? This happens This is not a new thing. You're not the only one. Don't trip. And Joseph dreamed a dream. He had a vision for his life. And he told his brethren, those he was closest to. And they hated him yet the more. Verse 6, and he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. Verse 8, and his brethren said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? See how they took it? What was part of what's interesting to me about this is if it is that you can have a vision to serve people, and the attitude coming from other people is that you have a vision to lord over them. It's all perspective. It reveals the condition of the hearts of the people that you're talking to. Verse 8, and his brethren said unto him, shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. They hated him for his dreams. In verse 9, and he dreamt yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. Verse 10, and he told to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, what this dream that thou hast dreamed? At least his father asked the question. Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him. You catch that? His brother envied him. But his father observed the saying. I hope you catch the difference. Envy drives you to see it the wrong way. Observation drives you to be mindful of what is being said. It's also the difference between youthful lust and wise observation. Now we'll get more into this, but this is a very famous story being played out. But more importantly, this is important for your own confidence, which is the reason why we'll tap into even more of this mindset that you must have if you want to do anything large in the kingdom of God. If these videos, podcasts are helpful to you, please like and share them with others. And thank you for taking this journey with us as we explore the kingdom of God and usher in the kingdom of heaven.